Chris Stinson under center. Is to his left is Ben Barrett. He's looking deep. Ben Barrett in stride. Touchdown. Ben Barrett, 43 from the 43. A 43-yard touchdown reception for Ben Barrett.
Carolina Performance Volleyball presents a special presentation of the Tailgate Show with Michael Dwayne Humphrey. Parrott Academy Championship Game coverage. Tonight, Hump welcomes Andrew Capps, Director of Business Development for Rocky Top Sports World in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and organizer of the Black Bear Brawl game. Now, here's Hump.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you, everyone. My name is Michael Dwayne Humphrey. Thank you for joining me on this special Tailgate special podcast for Parrott Academy, who is participating in the NCIS AA Championship game on Friday night in Greenville at John Paul II Catholic High School. Beautiful campus. I've been there many times. My aunt lived over there, and I've seen it past. Been to their facilities with Parrott. Covered baseball and football. They're the All-Star game, the Virginia North Carolina All-Stars. When Parrott won the last championship, I was there in 22. So I'm excited about going there. I'm excited about the team. And I did attend practice again yesterday, and they're ready. They're ready to go. And just from the very beginning of the season, when they won that Black Bear Brawl was the game that they revenged the game from the year before against Evangel Christian, who's the number one team in 8-man football. In fact, they won the national championship this past Friday in Panama City. So they are still national champions, and Parrott beat them. Parrott's undefeated at 12-0, and they're hoping to get 13-0. And the organizer for that game, by the way, is Andrew Capps, my next guest. He's the Director of Business Development Operations for the Rocky Top Sports World in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where Parrott and the families went, and they had a great time. The cheerleaders, the players, and you get to talk to Andrew knows about both these schools. With Cary Christian, he had them the first time. They were the first school to go there. And Josh Elliott was the head coach over there, still the head coach at Cary Christian. And he was excited to see both these teams in the championship. And Parrott has made this run, and Cary Christian is still Cary Christian. They're the defending state champions. So it's going to be a tough one. But Andrew has some good thoughts. This is part one of two parts. I had to separate it. Part one of two. We had so much information. And in the past 3 years, Andrew has been able to get these teams, the best teams in North Carolina, to this Black Bear Brawl, and they are scouting. I don't know how they do it. So I asked him, what in the world, are you Notre Dame? How do you pick these teams at the beginning of the season? They end up playing each other in the state championship.
As compared to Alabama, and they showed some flashes in that game, the greatness, and I always enjoyed thinking back to that game, even though, Evangel ended up running away with it. That was a very special Evangel team that year. Just, stacked from top to bottom, offense, defense, and no shame in Cary having the game they did against them, but it was the introduction game to Reed Harvey.
As you watch Friday night's game, pay attention to their quarterback, Reed Harvey. He is a dynamic player who leads that train that they call Cary Christian offense, the air attack, the air raid, they call it. He had 32 touchdowns, only one interception this season. And the secondary is going to have to be on point like they were the first game and be prepared for passing and a bunch of different formations that could trip a team other than Parrott up. But a team like Parrott's smart, and they're well coached, and they should be ready.
The pro style air raid type offense, even if you will, they will always put up points, and Matt Beeman and Parrott, they know that. As strong as their defense is in an 8-man format, they can't fully stop that defense or that offense. And that was never the plan. But how do you stop Parrott this year? How do it was impossible to stop Jalen Solomon last year, but once you did that, and I think we saw that in the playoffs last year, they didn't have a ton of other options. This year, you double up Ben Barrett, then you get killed by Braxton Lofton Myers, or vice versa. You try to stop Braxton Lofton Myers, and then Ben Barrett goes off. You got Tanner Outlaw, who's as big as a lineman, but can move, can catch, and you've got Chris Stinson, who's able to get rid of the ball quickly and find those guys, and he hasn't made a lot of mistakes, and especially in that game he did. So I don't know I think it does come down to Cary's defense. Are they going to probably turnovers? Are they going to create turnovers and get extra possessions? Because Parrott's going to score just about every time they get the ball, probably.
Parrott has played a tough schedule this year. They started off with Evangel, the national champion. They played the Maryland School for the Deaf, the national champion in the state of Maryland for 8-man football. They've been challenged by East Carteret. They won on the last second. They are prepared for any type of situation. Coach Beeman's concern is not necessarily the Cary offense. Coach Beeman's concern is how his team plays. That's his number one main concern. What Cary Christian will have to do is limit the number of possessions that Parrott has and maybe slow the game down. But will they do that in that air raid type offense?
Oh yeah, of course. And I think that's what probably Coach Elliott and Cary are struggling with now. I don't think they go away from what's been working with them, which is high-powered offense, quick scoring too. But, there is something to be said about Coach Sean Murphy's method with John Paul and wearing him down and keeping the ball out of that offense's hands. So I wonder if Cary might install anything or try to do something to keep the ball longer. But my guess is it's one of those games that's going to come down to the turnover battle. And if Cary can get some more possessions by creating turnovers in whatever way possible. And that includes onside kicks. So you got to watch onside kicks in this game. You got to watch the teams because Parrott's as good as that as anyone too, and getting those extra possessions. So extra possessions is what will win this game, is who has the ball the most and the longest and who wins the turnover battle.
Cary Christian is the defending state champion. Parrott beat him 52-38 at Cary Christian earlier in the year, just a few weeks ago. Matt Beeman has said multiple times that the reason he made this schedule the way it was this season was to prepare this team for this one game Friday night, the championship game. It doesn't matter who they play, who they line up against. They are mentally ready to play, and that's why the games that they played, you see them dominate each game, and they are going to be ready, and they are prepared, and they're ready to get the game started now.
Parrott's end, it is very hard to beat a team twice. It is very hard to beat a good team twice, but there's something special about this Parrott team and their mentality. They haven't let anything get to them yet. They haven't let the target on their backs affect them. They haven't let the expectations and, they haven't had that type of game yet. And I fully expect that to continue. I don't think we're going to see any less than what we've seen this whole season for Parrott. It's just, what does Cary have? What does Cary have different? What can Cary change up or execute better to avoid a score like they had last time would be my question.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Andrew Capps, everyone. What a great interview. He had so much more to say, man. It was about 25 minutes long, and I had to cut it to this short 8-9 minute mark so I could get this published because it's too big, they said. And I've been trying to get this published for 2 days, and he had some really good things to say about Coach Beeman, about one of Henry Sutton, who's a freshman on the team. He has some good things. He's playing in the Future Stars game, I think, coming up. Coach Beeman's going to be coaching a team up there in Gatlinburg in a couple months. So next month, I think. But anyway, Caps went on to say he thinks Parrott's going to win the game, but do not count out Cary Christian. But anyway, that's all I have. I want to cut this short. Thank y'all so much. If you help me get to the game at Hump's Heroes, $Package 95. See ya!